myQ dock management records all of the activity that occurs in your loading docks. All of this workflow that we see here that occurs in your docks whenever a truck arrives and then work begins on that truck. The software records all of that so that you can go into your historical data, your historical activity here, and you can select any range of time that you want, and you can find any individual dock session that occurred in your facility. So I'll go back here. I want to show you one of these here as an example, and I'm going to show you one from early June, and we'll take a look. This is a great example here because this one is kind of what you might run into in your dock sometimes. Here we see the truck showed up here, and then it was at the dock all the way until the end of the session, 3 hours and 40 minutes later. And this last 40 minutes was detention time. That is the beyond the agreed upon time that this demo account customer agreed with that carrier that they would keep their trucks there at. But the customer, this demo account customer, can generate a report of this workflow, visual workflow, and show the carrier that, no, we actually released that truck from the restraint well before detention time hit. So I don't know why that driver was still in our dock, but we're not responsible for that detention time. That's not us. That looks like him. But on the front end, here's something else that you can do with this information. If you notice trends in your docks with trucks showing up here, and then you've got excessive amounts of dwell time all the way where there's no work being done here on this truck, but it's just sitting there at your dock. It's being detected by the truck presence sensor, but work isn't happening until, in this case, 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes after the truck shows up. So, you might have a manager who's responsible for dock operators in your facility, and a conversation between a manager and the operator. In this case, for example, might go something like this. The manager will say, let's try to cut down on the amount of time, the dwell time here. What can I do to help you? And the dock operator might say, well, I don't always know when a truck shows up. So, I can't always, I can't always be there at that exact time. And sometimes I'm behind. And the manager can say, okay, well, we have two options. Number one, I have the ability to set up a notification so you get a text or an email on your phone every time a truck shows up at one of your docks. Would you like me to do that for you? Will that help? And the dock operator might say, well, yeah, that would definitely help. But, there's so many trucks coming and going that I might get dinged an awful lot on my phone, and it might be distracting. So then the manager can say, all right, well, we still need to make sure you're getting to these trucks within a reasonable amount of time after they arrive. So, we're shooting for under 15 minutes in between here. We don't want that much dwell time. So how about if I have a notification sent to your phone, text or email, whenever a truck is at one of your docks, but you haven't gotten there and engaged the vehicle restraint within 10 minutes? Because then you'll get the notification, and then you can get over there and start working on the truck. And the dock operator might say, that's a good idea. I like that, because then if I get to any of these trucks within less than 10 minutes, I won't get that ding on my phone. And if I can't get there within 10 minutes, I'll get dinged, and I'll remember to go down there and do that. So then the manager will go over here to notifications. We're going to create our own notification. All right, so device notifications, and I'm going to pull myself down here so we can actually see this button. See, you just go to add notifications, and we're going to focus on a dock session notification here. Okay, and I'll put myself back up here. So all we're going to do is we need to know what the notification's name is going to be. Call it whatever you want, and we're going to be focusing on exactly what the steps in our sessions are, starting with, in this case, there are all the sensors present in this demo account's docks, right? So we're going to focus on the steps that occur in every session when a truck shows up at the dock. The first step in a session is that a truck shows up at a dock, and then it's engaged by the restraint. The door is open, the lever is deployed, work is done on the forklift, the truck is loaded or unloaded, and then the leveler is stored, door is closed, restraint is engaged, and the truck leaves. Okay, that's the typical workflow in this demo account dock, right? So at these docks, we're going to focus on the step that is happening. We want the software to focus on this step for notification purposes. And we got to keep in mind of the next step, which is what's not happening in time, the restraint being engaged. So in this case, we're going to simply just drag the step down here that is happening. We're going to focus on that. And then we're going to go down here and see what we need to do. So we've pulled down this first step. This is the truck arriving at the dock. This is occurring. We can either decide to send a notification immediately when that occurs, but we talked to the dock operator, and he said that'll be very distracting because they get a lot of trucks, right? So instead, we're going to focus on sending a notification when no other session activity occurs after that within a certain amount of time. In this case, the next no other session activity means the next step, right? Which is the the restraint being engaged. That's where we're losing our flow a little bit here, right? The truck's showing up, but the restraint's not being engaged in time. So we're going to give our dock operator 10 minutes, and there we have the foundation of our notification. So anytime a truck shows up at one of our dock operators' docks, and he doesn't get down there to engage the restraint within 10 minutes, he's going to get a text or an email, okay, on his phone. We can just select the days and hours that he's working, select whatever docks are his, whichever docks you want this to apply to. And then down here from the list of whoever you decide to put in your dashboard, whoever you decide to have access to the software and in your company, just select his email from down here and then hit save, and you've got your notification. So this dock worker will get notified, a text or email on his phone whenever a truck arrives at one of his docks and he doesn't get down there to restrain it within 10 minutes or less. So this is just one more way that myQ dock management is really useful for increasing efficiency at your loading docks.